Salt Lake City, Utah lawmakers voted Friday to override GOP Governor Spencer Cox's veto of legislation banning transgender youth athletes from playing on girls' teams, a move that comes amid a nationwide culture war over transgender issues. Before the veto, the ban received support from the majority of Utah lawmakers, but fell short of the two-thirds needed to override it. Its sponsors on Friday successfully flipped 10 Republicans in the House and 5 in the Senate who had previously voted against the proposal. Cox was the second GOP governor this week to overrule lawmakers on a sports participation ban, and his veto letter drew national attention with a poignant argument that such laws target vulnerable kids who already have higher rates of suicide attempts. Business leaders are sounding the alarm that it could have a multi-million-dollar economic impact for the state, including the possible loss of the NBA All-Star Game next year. But the ban won support from a vocal conservative base that has particular sway in Utah's state primary season. Even with primaries looming, however, some Republicans stood with Cox to reject the ban. "I cannot support this bill. I cannot support the veto override, and if it costs me my seat, so be it. I will do the right thing, as I always do," said Republican Senator Daniel Thatcher. With the override of Cox's veto, Utah becomes the 12th state to enact some sort of ban on transgender kids in school sports. The state's law takes effect July 1st. Not long ago, efforts to regulate transgender kids' participation in school sports failed to gain traction in state houses, but in the past 2 years groups like the American Principles Project began a coordinated effort to promote the legislation throughout the country. Since last year, bans have been introduced in at least 25 states, according to the National Conference of State Legislatures. This week, Arizona and Oklahoma passed bans and sent them to governors for final approval. "You start these fights and inject them into politics," said Terry Schilling, president of the American Principles Project. "You pass them in a few states and it starts to take on a life of its own and becomes organic. We helped start this fight and we're helping carry it through, but a lot of this is coming from the local level. Leaders in the deeply conservative Utah say they need the law to protect women's sports.